Hey everyone, and welcome back to BPX Break Room. Broadcast live each Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern in Twitter Spaces at Radish Digital. That's digital with a J. A show that breaks down all the opportunities and explanations in the BlockPax ecosystem. I'm Discord user Jen Kahn, not just host of BPX Break Room, but also one of the largest whales in the BPX ecosystem. And now, without further delay, let's hear from this week's guest co-host.
Hey everybody, welcome to BPX Break Room with Gen Con. Obviously, myself, I am not Gen Con, neither are the two gentlemen I'm sitting here with. This is Discord user Slappy White, filling in for Gen Con along with Tex Hooper. Today we're honored to have Rilbiz with us. Welcome, Rilbiz.
Hello.
And Rilbiz, we've got a special treat at the beginning. Rilbiz, he competes in the Radish HTH fantasy tournaments, both football and baseball. And he won the baseball tournament a couple weeks ago. And he was the top scorer in our free tourney. And he ended up winning a box of HTH baseball, which we want to give credit to BlockPax. Thank you so much for contributing it to folks like Rilbiz here.
Thank you. Thank you, BlockPax.
No cost to enter, right? And you have a chance of ripping for 78,000, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. That was great. I was shocked as anyone that I won. So
I'm not. You know sports, and we'll get into that in a second. All right, right now I'm sharing the screen, and so Rilbiz and Tex, can you see the screen in front of you?
yes.
Sure can.
Okay, so this is what Rilbiz is going for. He's going for the Matata 10X Color Pop, inspired by Acuna Jr., and that's $50,000. He's going for the Gavler 10X, which is $20,000, inspired by Aaron Judge, and then the Rockstar 10X, inspired by Jazz Chisholm, $3,000 bounty, and of course the Matata Black Origin 1 of 1. That's a $5,000 bounty. Take all the money away, Rilbiz, and say there was no money involved. Which one of these bounties would you prefer to have?
No money involved. I would say probably the Rockstar.
And why is that?
I just like Jazz. It's Jazz, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I love Jazz. I think he's an up and coming player. Not that I don't like the other players. I just think he's got a lot of upside. So,
yeah,
and he's young. So
all right. So worst case scenario, you get the smallest bounty on the list, and you get a player you love. Let's hope you get that 3,000.
I'll take it. This is like the closest. This is like being on a game show. This is like I've done it now. I don't need to be on The Price is Right. I don't need to be on any. This is it. I'm on a game show.
All right. Well, that's great. Let's go ahead, and we're gonna and we will take the audio off here. All right. And can you see the screen, Rilbiz and Tex?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go. The first one coming up. Let's see.
No whammy.
It's a
No, big money. Big money. Big money.
I love the fact that game show still lives.
Oh, nice. All right.
A little
Color
chosen.
right out of the box.
Yeah, color right off the bat.
Nice.
We still haven't gotten a color pop yet for one of the promotional boxes, Morgon Titanium, but it'd be nice. Come on, Rilbiz, you're gonna be the first. Let's get a color pop.
I'm hoping.
Hopefully today's the day.
Ooh, Matata Fire. That was
nice.
Yep, floor prices for the commons in baseball are going up. I don't know if you gentlemen have noticed that.
No, I haven't. What is the floor now?
Yeah, I mean percentage-wise, it's going up. It's not crazy.
I haven't. I buy stuff and I never sell it.
Yeah, and actually somebody's been going in and buying a lot of shatters recently, and along with a lot of color pops. Last couple of days might actually be the biggest holder of BPX. All right, we're through 6. You got a bomber there. Now we're up to 7. Corresponding with the hated Houston Astros.
Yes, everybody.
Everybody but Dobbs is that. Oh my gosh, Dobbs had the best comeback ever when I made a comment about, hey, there's your rock star.
There you go. Got a rock star. Love it.
But you need
nice.
Oh, I thought there was going to be color there. Big Dobbs had the biggest comeback when I said something about the Astros as cheaters as a Yankee fan. So even though, as I discussed with Rilbiz off camera, is that Blackbeard Ice is that I am a Yankee. This hat I have is actually, I lost a wager to a Red Sox friend of mine, GB, and I had to buy this hat and wear it for 30 days. This was like 10 years ago, and I still have it because I'm like, whenever I'm painting or doing something and I don't care if it gets, ruined, I wear the Red Sox hat. And I'm using it now because we're ripping baseball, and I don't I never want to wear it unless I lose another wager. I'm not wearing this out in public, so I might as well use it here on a baseball show. So,
Another color.
ooh, Wonder. Yeah.
Wonder. Yeah. Well. Oof.
Oh,
The one thing I'll say about Wonder, which actually I think block packs could really develop, is they could develop something where this is the fan, right? Inspired by the player. It's not the player.
Oh, 100%. I'm going for the rainbow. I mean, it's still going to be points.
Yeah.
Points is key. So
But it is funny. People tend to shy. All right, we're getting down to your last 25%. We've gotten a couple. Well,
let's go. Let's go.
come on, color pop. Let's go.
yeah, we need something big here.
Oh,
Oh, red.
All right.
that's
Oh,
a-
red rock star. Look at that. You call it, you get it. Love it.
that's
That
awesome.
fire is awesome.
Take it. Thanks, Jazz.
I can't remember if you was the aqua rockstar you got. It wasn't a fire, was it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that'd be nice if you're building a rainbow there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Another war god. Oh, that
All
is.
right.
I
All
like.
right. Got a red. Exciting.
All right, come on.
Let's go. Oh, almost.
All right, that's.
Got that little hint of color in there. It tricks you.
I know.
I know that the little gold pops up every now and then, and you.
Yeah.
Okay, the lieutenant, and now we're coming up on our last one. Come on, for
Color
real.
pop. Come on, color pop.
Color pop.
Ah,
It's all right. Hey, got a red? I'll take it. It's awesome.
yeah, you got some great color.
Got
Yeah.
some good color. Red, 2 aquas. And you're funny about hats. As you can see, I'm, wearing my wonderful Barefoot Breeze hat. Thank you, Barefoot Breeze. So had to put a plug in for that.
Yep.
I have a duplicate hat like that. Hey, have either of you gentlemen ordered the Henley yet?
I have not. I'm going
No. Is that a new product?
Yeah, Tex, you don't even know about it. It's the Henley's got like
Oh,
like the hoodie. It's like
yeah.
yeah,
I love hoodies.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
have to go check that out.
I need to get in there and order that. I think there's a couple of variants of the Henley when you look at, but it looks like it might be your favorite, especially going into fall. Yeah.
This hat, when I wear it out in public, I get at least one question every time I wear it from people they're like no idea what it is. It's awesome. They're like, "What is that hat?" And I'm like, "It's Barefoot Breeze. Check it out. barefootbreeze.com." I'm like a walking commercial.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
No, everything that they put out in the Barefoot Breeze line is awesome. So
Right.
another home run by the team at Block Packs. Speaking of Block Packs, Rilbiz, we're going to get into some non-Block Packs things, but let's start off first with Block Packs.
Mhm.
You've been a member of Block Packs since when?
Right after, not the original drop, the very first one, but the second one, right after the Dallas show. So I started at the Chicago show 2 years ago in 21. So the very beginning, basically.
Okay, and so I'm looking, you know what? I love Discord and how you can do that. If I go and I look up on Discord, I can see that you joined July 23, 2021. So that's pretty close to the original. I think June 20th or 30th is the earliest anyone's joined, and that's only a handful of people. July is pretty much the marker for people joining.
Yeah, I was in the initial wave. It was awesome. I had seen an advertisement for it, and I went to.
You'd seen it where?
I don't even know. I think I saw it on Facebook or something. I don't know where I saw it, but it was cool. And I went to the show that year because it was in Chicago, and I went to the booth, and I talked to somebody, and Jeff was like right next to me, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I kind of knew who he was from reading about it. And he was talking to somebody for like a half hour, and I'm like trying to meet him, and I didn't. So, but I can't remember who I talked to initially. And I went home and I signed up for an account immediately that day, and here we are.
And had you done anything in Web3 before?
No, I didn't even. I had a wallet from a long time ago. I had a wallet that I started years ago for this other thing, and I left it barren for like 2 years.
Yep.
And I never touched it. And then all of a sudden they said you need a MetaMask. I'm like, oh, I have one. So I revived it, and no, I had no ETH. I had nothing. I had zero exposure to NFTs, zero exposure to any type of crypto. I was like babe in the woods. Infinite probably was like, who is this guy? I think I must have sent him 47 messages in the first week. Like,
Isn't it amazing? I mean, when you look at scalability of block packs, is that there was nothing scalable about the way they used to take care of us. And for folks around in the early days, I mean, yeah, Infinite he'd set up, he'd be on with you going back and forth. You're not the only one who had 47 back and forth. This is a great time to thank Infinite. Is like, it's amazing how much he helped all of us out.
So I just grew with it. I had no, and then the Razes, I did win the first Raz. I won that Peyton on the first, not the original, but the very first big one. And then from there, it just took off, and now I have like 1,000 NFTs. I can't. It's ridiculous how many.
And now are they all block packs, or do you have other projects?
I dipped into the other worlds for a little bit, and I maybe have 20 or 30 other NFTs, but I'm comfortable in this ecosystem. I trust it, and I don't buy too many monkey pictures outside of this. So I dipped my toe in some stuff, and I got burned a couple times. You got to learn in the beginning. You get beat up a little bit. I bought some evolving apes and stuff, and it just didn't go anywhere. So
yeah, I think that happens to everybody. They all, everybody gets into this and then starts to branch out a little and quickly finds out that there's not much value out there in the NFT world.
No, I mean, I wear this shirt proudly, and Jeff, we trust. I mean it, because I feel you should feel real comfortable in this ecosystem. And now what I'm excited about is the fact that they're kind of taking the wallet aspect out of it. Mm-hmm. So to me, the future of NFTs is Jeff's nailing it, is to get it so it doesn't involve the wallet. Because it's so hard to embrace the wallet and to eat. People just want to use a credit card. They just want to buy cool stuff,
right?
And be happy.
Yeah, it's a huge learning curve and a huge barrier to bring in new people.
No doubt. I can't believe I stuck with it. My son is 30, and I know more about this stuff than he does. It's frightening because I'm so deep into this now. It's like, he's like, you have a ledger, and I'm all this going crazy, and I'm telling him about all the stuff I'm doing and all the different, and he's like, I don't even do that. So, yeah, like I said, the support has been amazing. Like without the staff helping me, I would have never got this far. Not even close.
It would be interesting when, if you look back 30 years from now and they write back about early web 3, obviously you're going to look at things like the lost miners, and you have to tell the story of block packs then if you're going to talk lost miners. But what's interesting is Jeff has done something really special with block packs, which is he's taken a demographic. Let's be honest, we're older. To your point about your son, it's not what you would think. Like, young people are like, whatever, I just grew up with this technology, and so it's secondhand to me. But Jeff has basically taken a demographic of individuals, which society pretty much tells us is resistant to technological adaptation, and completely taken this group and said, yeah, we welcome adaptation, we welcome change, and we're going to become not only proficient in it, but have expertise in it so you can help other people. Like you were talking about with your son, it's like I should say, like, obviously we all know our limitations. There are people far more far more knowledgeable than we are. But when you take someone who knows nothing about Web3, nothing about the blockchain, to them, we certainly can offer a bit of expertise.
I have a pretty wide circle of friends, and they all look at me like I have 4 heads. They have no idea what I'm talking about. They have no concept of what a ledger is, or ETH, or transfer, or a marketplace. They have no idea. They look at me like I'm this like foreign being. Like, what craziness do you speak of, sir? It's like you just got to learn it, man. I mean, but I'm so cautious. Like, that's why I bugged Infinite. I would not make a move without sending him a note. Mm-hmm. Like, anytime it would ask me to like sign something, I would do a copy screen and I would send it to Infinite. Is it okay to sign this?
Yeah. Because
I was so afraid of getting burned.
Yep.
So that's people's biggest, I think, the barrier is just the technology isn't that difficult. It's the fact of that you could wake up one day and all the stuff's gone from your wallet. I think that's what scares the hell out of me.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if you don't have a ledger. So,
well, and
if you don't have a ledger, get a ledger, by the way. I'm a big ledger fan.
No, it's you want to get a ledger, and then you want to actually set it up, because and notice the shiny plastic. So
that'll protect you in the package. You're good. You don't have to worry about it slapping.
It's, by the way, it's underneath my computer. If that helps, it's next to it, touching it.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. No,
That's how it works, right? That's how it's meant to work, right? It just needs to be there.
Right.
It's just like the tap and pay credit card, right? I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one ledger for block packs where everything I own is in that one block packs ledger. So
Yeah.
I just keep it all in there, and I don't know how I did it if I know what I knew now, I wouldn't have slept at night knowing that I could have just sucked out like $10,000 worth of NFTs in one stroke.
I'm gonna have to set up a personal training session with you for the ledger.
It's
I
so
definitely have
simple,
to
man.
get
It's
it.
so simple. It's easy. It's easy.
All right.
all
Good.
right. Actually, maybe
We could do that. You'll sleep better at night. You will.
actually, when you guys do that, I can be on it as well. And I'll tell you what, Rilbiz, we can invite Infinite into it. We can have
Perfect.
Tex and we can film it, and we'll go ahead and release that. But
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be like the Padawan thing. It'd be like, he's the master, and he's brought me along as this little like a Yoda Luke kind of thing.
well, speaking of your Yoda, it's like to close out block packs and Infinite. Let's just have a quick rundown of the different items you have in block packs. All right, so geeks, how many do you have and what are they?
I have two legend, one hero.
Okay,
So
and
yep.
pirates, parrots.
I have 5 parrots, 2 pirates, and 5 parrots, 2 pirates.
And pandemonium passes, and
I think I have 3 pandemonium passes.
Yep.
And what else are we missing?
the other pass. I forget what the name is.
I have a bunch of shark stuff too.
No. But the pandemonium pass is
It's just the barefoot pass, isn't it?
Barefoot pass. Yeah, the brown one. I have 3 of those.
Okay.
Well,
All right. So you've got both of those, and then when it comes,
so I'm not a heavy I don't have like alpha stuff where I have like 4,700 of each jams. So
you know what? There are a lot of people who would be jealous of
Right.
what you have. What about in Bantam? Are you still sitting
I
on
am.
Bantam?
I have only a few bantams. I never embraced the bantam, honestly. It's just too. You have to pick kind of certain things you want to go for, and I went more for the home.
Hold
team
on. We'll get there. But so with the bantams, you're not selling them. So even though you're not really into it, you didn't.
No, I'm keeping the ones I have because I have a couple of good ones, and I'm hanging on to them just for nostalgia's sake.
So you're not going for sets and rainbows, but people like Jams who are now screwed because people like you who aren't going for the sets are just going to sit on what they have. And
Hey, Jams, you got my number. You want to make an offer? Throw it out there. So like I said, I try to. I don't sell. Kyle D005 and we don't sell much. I just accumulate like stuff. I don't. It's so bad. I'm so bad at that whole part.
We can see the books on the bookshelf behind you. Real Biz is like, you cover that.
Yeah, I wish I had those books, but no, I've got a decent, and I've got I've got stuff all the way back to the Jordan, basketball gold.
The collision artwork stuff.
I mean, I have it all. I haven't sold. It's all sitting in my wallet. I have like 700 or 800 things in my wallet, and then all the marketplace stuff. Wow. So I've been accumulating it over the years, and we cashed in on the first points, of course, season 1. So now that stuff is just kind of nostalgic.
Well, okay, so now just to close out the rest of that, we still got a couple silos to go. Miners, how many miners do you have?
I have 10 miners.
Okay, and then how many wonders are you going to pick?
I believe I will get 10 if my calculation is correct.
Okay, and so you're looking at 10 wonders. Were you surprised at all, by the way, is that the October 1st snapshot, to be honest, it caught me by surprise. Obviously at Radish, we like to warn people several times before a deadline happens. And we did not, to be honest, we warned people ahead of time, but that, hey, you got 24 hours left. Hey, you got 12 hours left. We didn't do that. And honestly, it was busy because the website for Radish Digital just went up on Thursday or Friday morning. So it was kind of busy trying to get everything. I was distracted because of that. But did you feel like it kind of caught people by surprise when that first snapshot happened, Rilbiz?
No, actually, people talked about it a lot in the Discord. I think if you just followed along, you'd saw it. It shouldn't have caught you by surprise. If you're checking in once a month or once every 2 weeks, you might have been a little behind the curve. But I'm in that thing every day. I check it. My wife looks at it and goes, "Oh, you're in that again?" Just that type of thing. Like, I don't contribute much, but I definitely keep up, because that's the thing in the beginning of this was there was so much information coming at you that it was so hard in the beginning to discern all of it. And that's why I formed the 2048 group, because I wanted other people to help me figure this thing out, because I was like clueless.
Yep.
Like every day something would be different, and I'd be like, what did I miss? What did I miss? And we'd be in our little group going, what'd you miss? What'd you think of this? Because it's calmed down now. I think Blackpack's got a better flow of information. But that first year, man, it was like things would change on a dime.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, Tex?
I'm sorry, you cut out there on me. What was that?
Wouldn't you agree that things have slowed down a little bit? You can.
Yes.
It's not from I shouldn't say slow down. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
it's still a massive amount of change and a lot going on in Blockpacks. But to Rilbiz's point, it's not a fire hose where if you miss 6 hours in a day, you can't go back and read the 300 Discord messages, because there'll be 300 more by the time you're done with that. And there's literally no time. There's no catch-up time. You just have to decide, this is where I start going forward.
Right. And in the past, it wasn't like that. In the past, you'd have, like you said, you missed something. But now I think they've gotten better at disseminating information. They've got more ways to get it out. So kudos to them as far as keeping people in the loop. And then it's like any other business, it has to evolve. I mean, Jeff was trying to do so many things at once back in the past that it's kind of like the beginning of the Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, the first season, there's like 17 storylines of like 47 different people. And then as you watch the series, it consolidates down to like a smaller, that's kind of, I envision Blackpacks the same way. Like it's narrowing down now to.
You heard it here first, folks. Rilbiz compares Blockpacks to Game of Thrones. So I don't know if that makes Caroline Cersei or who.
I don't know. I don't take her as the Cersei type.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure.
She'd be the Queen of Dragons, wouldn't she?
No doubt. She is no doubt.
Well,
I'd say that she'd be more of that.
She could be Ned Stark's daughter, right? One of
who's the redhead? Cersei.
She could be one. What about the one who goes and lives with the face people?
Nah, that's not terrifying.
That's not terrifying.
Oh no.
No, she's like you said. She's more of the Queen of the Dragons.
Yeah, Mother of Dragons.
Mother of Dragons. I wouldn't mess with her.
No.
Yeah, actually, that's a good analogy. She's freeing worlds. All right. Well,
I just one thing I think too, that the more you interact with Blockpacks in the ecosystem, kind of the more you learn, the flow of information slows down a little to where your understanding is greater, so you're able to just go through the information better. So that kind of brings the overwhelming factor of all the information down a little.
Right. And one last point on this that I'll sew up is, I think that what people, knowing it from the beginning, it was so cool and so awesome that you tried to be in everything. Like that was the big thing in the beginning. I bought everything that they put out, no matter what. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "That's right. Trust me, it'll be good." Now I think people are a little more discerning and kind of focus on, because now there's like 3 or 4 main lines of products, and I think not everyone can buy all 4 lines. So I think people just kind of pick their favorite and run with it. So I think, like you said, silos. I think people are sticking more in lanes than rather trying. But in the beginning, it was a FOMO. I mean, it was bad FOMO. You had it, I had it. You didn't want to miss a thing, man. When something came out, you wanted it. It's like, otherwise you're missing.
Take my money. Just take my money.
Yeah. I love that meme where the little girl's throwing the money out the window.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Be the one. But yeah. So.
No, I agree, Rilbiz. When Bantams came around, that was I used to tell people all the times, it was the different stages of grief. It's like first is anger, then it's sadness, and then it's acceptance. And it was interesting because you could see members of the community who still wanted to buy every silo and would be a little bit mad because, hey, what wasn't said is they were unable to afford to buy into every one. And it stinks because I'm in the same boat, but like you get mad, then you get sad, and then you're like, no, it's okay. I still can be part of the community on these silos, and yeah. So, but and to finish it off, I cut you off on Home Team Hero. So I assume you're doing baseball and football, and you're open to basketball. You're planning on buying basketball?
Yeah, I'll buy some basketball. I don't know that I'll go as heavily into basketball as I did football, baseball, but I will definitely be the home. I have severe FOMO with the Home Team Heroes, severe. So I mean that I don't want to miss out on basketball at all.
Yeah.
Plus, then I can't get into the Radish.
Fantasy.
DFS fantasy stuff without
Yeah.
having basketball. So I
Yeah,
can't.
we gotta. Thank you for the plug. We gotta work on slimming down all the. When I'm doing this, like, hey, here's the update for the Radish HTH NFL Week 4 free tourney. It's like that's way too much, and it's like now I'm just trying to cross as many words as I can get out of there, just so people know what we're talking about. But speaking of football, let's talk about you in real life. Which is, are you comfortable talking about your real life? Because of course,
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
You, Tex, and I all get to meet each other in person at the National Card Show in Chicago. And you shared a little bit about, I think that's the first time I learned a little bit about your background. Maybe it's because of the Jerry Rice incident, but tell folks about, and actually, where did you grow up, Rilbiz?
Grew up in Chicago, born and raised South Side Chicago guy.
Okay, and so what's your first, you know what I'm getting at, and like the type of work you do. Did you start doing that right away, or was there a previous?
No, I was in, I'm always in corporate sales and marketing. I went to law school. I graduated in '89, so I went into legal sales, legal marketing for 25 years, and then I decided to kind of.
Did you pass the bar, or did you?
I did not. I just went into legal sales. I then decided that far into about 13 years ago that I wanted to be an NFL agent, so I took the test.
Wait, hold on. So,
Yeah.
did you know? Like, I'm thinking NFL agent. I'm not thinking there's a test. Tex, are you surprised that he said that there's a test?
No, I knew there was a test to be an agent.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But wait, isn't it? What was that rock show? Ballers. Yeah, is that
That's a financial planner. That's different. You don't need. You just need to register with the NFL for that.
Oh yeah. No, I know that part, but like they bring in the agents, and it's like I'm surprised they. I mean, I just think the way they. I knew it was glorified, but the way they talk about some of the agents. So talk to me about. You decide you want to be an agent. Why? Just because football is your favorite sport?
That and hockey are right up there. But I like working with youth. I like negotiating. I like the legal part, and I like football. So it's kind of everything you love. So I just decided to do it. Like I decided one day to be an agent.
Did you look at the process for hockey and NFL to see which is easier?
I started out actually trying to do hockey, but hockey's different than NFL because hockey, you have to literally start courting these young men when they're like 12.
Mhm.
I went up to the Gretzky tournament in Toronto and spent 3 or 4 days there. And I'm talking to guys like Nurse's parents, Darnell Nurse, and and they already had, they're already looking at like mega agents, Bobby Orr's agency or Rilio. They're like, well, maybe we'll go with Bobby Orr. So, whatever. I didn't take any umbrage to that. So they have a good career. So I started, and then I went to football, and I said, you know what? Because there's two different, they're different. Baseball and hockey, you have to get a player on a contract, and then you can apply for. Basically, it's a little difference. But whereas basketball and football, you have to physically take a test. You have to go to Washington D.C. You have to take a test. You have to pass the test. You have to have an advanced degree and/or the equal selling experience.
So hold on, wait. So first of all, the testing's in DC. Why is it in DC when that's
where the headquarters of the NFLPA is? Because you're actually a member of the NFLPA. So
So wait, you're a member of the NFLPA.
Yeah, on the agent side, not the player side. Yeah. You get a card carrying member. So
that's awesome. All right. And so you go there to take the test, and how often do they offer the test?
They offer the test once a year.
Okay. And so the advanced degree, so you're talking about beyond undergrad degree. Yeah. So either master's or PhD or doctor.
Yeah, anything above a master's, and then
wait, above a master's. So master's.
I mean, anything above a
undergrad.
Bachelor. Anything above a bachelor, master's, whatever, law degree, doctorate. It doesn't matter. And then, or you can have commensurate sales experience. So if you're out selling multi-million-dollar deals, they might make an exception, let you in. That's up to the NFLPA board.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what's the cost?
Ooh, it's a couple, like, because you got to fly there. It was probably a $3,000 process between the test fees, the hotel. You got to stay there for 2 days.
So it's 2 days because it takes all day, 1 day, or it's 2 days of testing?
It's 1 day of testing, but you get there the day before and they have like a seminar and help you prep. But it's a hard test. I'm glad I passed it years ago because it's gotten a lot harder.
Is it mostly based on the law?
It's all about the CBA,
Okay.
Yep.
The collective bargaining agreement.
collective bargaining agreement. They test you on that, knowing all the different types of contracts and everything. But I've been in it 13 years now, and I'm kind of winding it down now. I have some players that I still tend to through another agent because I've just found that it's getting more difficult for the small agent to survive. The name, image, and likeness is really putting a crimp on that. So,
wow, that's interesting. That could be a whole different show.
Yeah.
The one last question I had in text. I don't know if you had any more questions about that, but for fees, I'm just curious, like for you to keep your membership every year. Like I don't know if the NFL is like, yeah, you'll pay us $5,000 a year, or if it's like
it's a few grand a year to keep your license.
Yeah.
You have to have insurance. You have to have errors and omissions insurance.
So that's a good question. How much is like, malpractice for medicine? It's like how much is the?
It's not expensive. Like I said, it's a few grand all in.
Yeah.
For the whole thing, but it's just the insurance is about half of it. So I want you to have error. It's called E&O, errors and omissions, in case you screw up a contract.
Right. Yeah. And is that insurance through the Players Association or through the?
No, they have a insurance company they work with, and you buy it through them.
Right. Okay. It's not part of your dues though. It's separate.
No, dues are separate. They're
Yeah.
two different fees.
Right.
But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's fun to watch guys play on Sunday. I just, like I said, I'm phasing out here, but still have a couple players that I'm tangentially involved with. And
is it any players we'd know?
Not household names. No, I've never had anybody amazing. The firm I was with before has Baker Mayfield, so you've heard of him. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a he's a good quarterback. He's having a resurgence in Tampa Bay, which is great.
Yeah.
So good for him. Nice guy.
And what's the next chapter for you then, Rilbiz? If you're going to kind of get away from that.
I don't know. I'm just sticking with my sales, and I've been in sales my life.
What exactly is legal sales?
In other words, you sell like software that lawyers use.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I was in a niche thing called electronic discovery, which is a kind of a niche market. So
Mm-hmm.
I was going to be a lawyer, but back in the day, they only paid $20,000. I was going to be a state's attorney in Cook County. My son is one now, ironically, and I'm not, which is cool. And so they only paid like $20,500 back then in 1989.
Yeah.
And I had student loans of $800 a month. So I couldn't even be one if I wanted to be, because that's basically all my take home pay. So unless I wanted to live in a box.
Yeah. That's one of the discussions I remember. So my wife was a prosecutor in Chittenden County in Vermont, Rilbiz, and she was making $30,000 a year. And this was 2004, 8, somewhere around there. And and just so people know, Vermont's a very high cost of living. So for instance, a 1-bedroom back then was like $1,400 for a 1-bedroom. And so it was, not only was it 30,000, but the financial crisis, it was 2008, because the financial crisis of 2009 hit. And so the state of Vermont froze all the salaries. So she was not going to get a raise for a couple of years. And to your point is, we had a mortgage payment for law school debt. And it was untenable. And that actually, I mean, to not joke, but to talk about it, people don't understand is like, you have all these officers in law enforcement who do so much hard work of capturing the criminals. And then who do you turn it over to? You turn it over to a field of workers who can barely put bread on their table. And like, what are you left with? People like you who are like, I think I'm going to pass because I can't afford to live on it. God bless a few people who do it. But let's be realistic, is that how many people are willing to starve every week just to be a prosecutor in Cook County or Chittenden County? And
No doubt. I would have loved to have done it. And so then I went into private, like I went into a private company and they paid more, and I stayed there for 12 years and I loved it. It was amazing. But it was a good experience. And like I said, because back then in '89, they didn't have like these custom, like income-based payment plans. You just paid whatever it was. It wasn't like you go and refinance it and that was it. I mean, there was no like, God bless, now they have all these, plans where it's like 10% of your disposable income, and
right.
they were like, no, you got to pay it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. The no COVID moratorium. No.
Nope, no COVID moratorium. So, but so that's my story. And then I just decided one day to be.
Is all your law school debt gone?
Knock on wood, it is.
Good. All right. Well, do we have to knock on wood? How's it going to come back?
Who knows? I don't trust it. Who knows? But so I decided to be an agent one day, and I just literally took this class like on how to be an agent, and it didn't really help a lot. It was nice, and then I just printed up business cards, and I went down to the combine and just started walking around meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's awesome.
That was it.
Very cool. Where was the first combine you attended?
Indianapolis. It's
okay.
Forever. That was in 2010 during the strike.
Oh, okay.
I was able to actually practice as an agent during the strike because there was no NFLPA. They disbanded it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little jump on it. But then I couldn't take the test for another year after that. So It was awkward. But it was fun. So I was walking around like a lost lamb. I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to the combine?
2 years ago. I didn't go last year. I went every year for like 11, 12 years in a row.
And how much different is it now than when you first went?
Pretty much the same.
Really?
Doesn't change.
Yeah. Okay,
Same.
That's interesting.
I mean, now they added the fan stuff, like the fan zone or whatever,
right.
in the last like 5 years. But other than that, the procedure's the same. That hasn't changed a bit. I mean,
it's interesting.
The public never used to be in there either.
Right. Well, that's what I meant. Kind of. It's become such
the first 5-6 years I was doing, there was no public, nothing, just the coaches and
right.
And it's a fun experience down there. You just see, who knows if we'd have met Jerry Rice back then, things could have been totally
right.
different.
Yeah. Think of where you could be.
Well, when you were talking about Kyle and you're talking about an experience that you and he talking, is you talking about your first time at the combine reminds me of Kyle talking about the first time he went to spring training, being in a clubhouse. Mm-hmm. And speaking of baseball, of course, one of the things that we want to certainly talk about with you here is the Great Card Quest. So Rilbiz is like, let's segue into that, is that you've got all these things in your life that are going on. You have a passion for Block Packs products. You have your NFL career. You have your family. So what made you decide you're like, you know what, I need to have something else in my life and I need a big project. And let's start off with, I guess I'm getting ahead of it. Why don't you tell us about the Great Card Quest, and then I want you to answer that question.
Sure. You'll have to refresh me on that question when my time comes. But the Great Card Quest, basically, I've been collecting baseball cards since I was a little kid, and I have a ton of them in my crawl space. And I have, around the early 70s, I was young. I was probably 7, 8 years old. In 71, I wasn't even 7 yet. I think I was 6 or 7. And I started really getting into baseball like early 70s, like 73. I started to really know what was going on, then mid 70s. But so I had all these legacy cards. So I decided to take the 71 cards I had. Most of them were beat up because I played with them as a kid. We didn't put them in holders and all that. We used to literally play with them. Like I'd play a game where I would take a card and hit a little wad of paper with the card, and then it would land on a player and it'd be like a single. So we'd actually play a game with the cards. So they're all beat to hell. So, but I had some ones some of the commons that we didn't care about. Like you only did the stars, right? The ones that were worth money. Right?
Yeah, right.
So my Pete Rose is all beat up, and so I'm like, all right. So I decided to build a raw set of the 71s, with just an ungraded. So that took me a long time. That took me like 6 years because I was just nibbling at it and buying the stars, and then I decided about 4 or 5 years ago, I said, I'm not happy with this set because I had nice commons, but the stars were still a little junky, like a little beat up, junky. So I'm gonna make a few of them 7 PSA 7. So I started buying them. Then I bought 1. Then I bought 4. Then I said, you know what? Then after like 50 or 100, I'm just gonna build a set. So it took me about 4 or 5 years, and I built the entire PSA 7 or above set of the 1971s. That's the black border, and that was you're going to ask me eventually why I picked that set, because of all those sets in the early 70s, that was the coolest looking set, and most of the stars were the same from like 70 to 74. They're all the same big stars. When you get in 75, then you got Brett and you got Yount and all those rookies. But that kind of before 74, there's that same group of people: Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Aaron, all those guys. So I just started building that, and it took a long time, and it was quite an effort. So I decided to put a kind of a video series together to go through as I got new cards and showing how I opened them, and then how I go through on each show. I pick 50 cards out of the 50 cards at a time. I pick the ones that are notable. I talk about the cards and the players and the facts, and that is the Great Card Quest on YouTube.
How many cards are in that set?
752.
Ooh. And there's a supplemental set too, right?
There is. It's called the Master Set, which is there's 9 cards. They issued the set in 3 series. So if you watch the series, you'll know the video series. They put out the first set, which was 1 through 523, I think. And then they put out the second set, which was 524 to 644. And they put out 75% of that because football, they were starting to print football. Then they put out the third series, which was the high numbers, they call them, 645 to 752. And they printed half of the amount of those cards because they were heavy into football at that point. So what they did was, when they made a mistake in Series 1, they tried to fix it in Series 2. So there were 9 variations of cards that they tried to fix. So if you have all 9 of those, you have the Master Set.
Yeah.
So I'm 1 away from the Master Set. It's at PSA. It's in quality 2 checking. So I should have it in a week or so. So we'll see if I can finally get that last one. So 761 in the Master.
And on that last one, you're hoping for a
7
or better, right?
Just 7 or above.
Which card is it?
It's the checklist number 123. There's 2 versions. There's one with the number on the bottom right, and there's one with the number centered. I have the bottom right. Yeah.
If you had to guess what the grade will be,
I think it might sneak in as a 7. I'm crossing my fingers. I sent one in earlier. It came back as 6. I was so not happy. But
and is there another one in the chamber in case this one comes up as 6?
I have another one, but it's not as good. But I'm just combing eBay and PWCC and hoping that someone puts one up. At this point, hey, if you're out there listening, if you put up for $100, I'm going to buy it. I just need it. So whatever it costs, I'm going to get it.
It would be great.
Price.
A video for the Great Card Quest would be if you went to PSA and followed the card as it went through. That would make a great episode for you.
That'd be good. So that's what I did. So if you're into vintage cards, you're into the 70 stars, or you just want like baseball cards, it's an interesting series just to go through all the different players. I pull out factoids and interesting facts about all the players. I have a gentleman I work with in the later episodes because I found that me by myself droning on is just not good. You need a partner.
Tell me about it.
Hey, so Rilbiz, the raw set that you have, is that how much money would you estimate was put into the raw set?
I hope my wife's not watching this. She won't. She still doesn't know the details, but I'll share it with everybody. I think the raw set. I have a spreadsheet. If you know me personally, I keep a spreadsheet on everything. Like I have 500 spreadsheets, so I have all that documented. I'd say I probably put maybe couple grand into the raw set, maybe a grand, 1,500.
So let me ask you this: if you were to take the complete raw set and
Mhm.
say this is for sale, would you be able to? Would you be able to sell it for more? Since you took the time, right, all that effort to compile it together, could you sell it for more than what you put in the raw
I'd
set?
say nay at this point. I'd say break even because the stars aren't great.
Okay, and then in terms of the PSA 7 or greater, right, which is different. So
Different.
at this point, right, different costs. We because your wife might watch, we won't get into the cost of that one, but so having if you sold it as a complete set, PSA or 7 or greater,
Mm.
for the same reasons, you'd say you probably are not going to get back as much as you put in.
No, at this point, I'd say it'd probably make a little bit of a profit, maybe 10%.
Yep.
Just because I was buying cards 4 years ago when they were a lot cheaper than they are now. So,
Mhm.
so just to let the cat out of the bag. So, for example, there's 760 cards I have. My average cost per card, I believe I calculated, is like $35.50 or something.
Yep.
Like that. Across all the stars.
Roughly.
Yeah, something that's in the 35 and change. So, yeah, I keep tabs on every penny. I have a stack of orders. I keep because it's very organized. People don't. You'll see from the video series, you don't just build a set like that and just buy them and throw them in a box.
Right.
Like, you have to keep order so you don't double buy cards, and then it costs you twice as much.
Mhm.
And you have to. It's a whole. I had a whole check-in procedure, and then I'd have to swap the raw card out for the other card, and I have
But
a copy of it.
it's fun. It's a project you love. You love creating
Right.
these systems and you love chasing it. So speaking of watching the videos, do you have a little video you could share with us, Rilbiz?
I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna give you a couple minutes. This is from the first video. This is it. Okay, I'm gonna share. Oh God, can you see me?
Yep, we can see you in your red.
Oh, that's so ugly. All right, so this was from the first show. Just wanted to, I'll give you a couple minutes of this. It kind of sets out the whole show.
Hi, welcome to the Great Card Quest. We're here at More Fun Sports Cards, as we said, in Dyer, Indiana. We just had a wonderful interview with the proprietor, Ken Zykowski. You've known forever. And now we're going to talk about the set. The purpose of the Great Card Quest, my first quest, is to build the 1971 Topps Black Beauty set, which is very hard to do, as Ken iterated before, that it's very hard to do because of the borders, chipping, all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, I've taken it on. I'm going to build, my ultimate goal is to build the master set. So a little history of the set. There's 752 cards in the
We went
set.
through all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go forward a little bit. I'm just going to
very hard
show
to
you
get
kind of what each show is
them
about.
are
So,
Clemente. And of that era, and I had a bunch.
we go forward a little bit
and it
more.
was fairly cheap back
So, like for example,
See,
one of the
they're
cards.
out there too much because there's not a ton, which I think you'll find interesting. I have some stats and things for you. And I have most of the ones I think are kind of just not common. It's kind of an interesting story. The first one is the card number 1. It's the world.
Sorry.
I think are kind of just not common. It's kind of an interesting story. The first one is the card number 1. It's the world champions. All right. It's the first card. Baltimore Orioles. Card number 1. It's kind of not easy to find in a 7 or higher. Just so you know, there is 262 sevens in the set, and there are 0 PSA 10s, and then a smattering in between.
All right.
So this is one of 262 cards out.
I think you guys have gotten the idea. So that's kind of what I do. And it gets, I look back and I'm like, I want to go re-record all these first episodes because it gets better as you go. You get better at it. I have a partner later in the later series. It's more fun. It's more funny, but you got to start somewhere, right? And I have a color thing, and I have all these different. I've augmented it a lot, and I do my own editing now, so it's come a long way. But that's just kind of an idea of what the series is about. And
Well, first of all, that was a great interview with Ken, and I feel bad for him that you cut him out from.
I did. I cut Ken out.
But
Cutting room floor.
So I will say one thing is that because when you first shared with us at National, of course, your YouTube channel looked a little bit different, and you've kind of not reformatted, but it's a different feel and look and description now. So what happened there?
Just learn, your show's evolved. You learn from the things. And what I did was I've learned how to make a thumbnail, which is very important. Before I just had me sitting there like that, just like, and like, who's going to want to tune into that? I would, but anyway, so I now I've learned to make a pretty compelling thumbnail. So that helped a lot.
So what makes a good compelling thumbnail?
Just you gotta have action in it, like words, like my thumbnail says, improve your vintage IQ, join the quest, feature cards, and then you show a couple cards. So the thumbnail has to be, it's almost outrageous, like it has to grab the attention of the video user and make them want to go in and look at it. So I didn't have any of that in the beginning. I had no thumbnails, I had nothing. So it's evolved. I wish I could start the series over at like number 5, but
yeah, but you want to know, like everything in life, right? If the trajectory is up, that's a good thing. And so first of all, I loved the early stuff, so I don't agree with you. It's like, I understand how you must feel about it, but I do love your early stuff. So I just want to caution folks listening to this who haven't started at the beginning that it's not going to be painful. It is going to be enjoyable, and they should start with the very first.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm not doing a great job. I'd be failing on like CNN right now or Fox. I'm not promoting my own show. It's a fun show. I give out a lot of good facts. There's stuff that and the cool thing is I enjoy the process, and I want to pass it along to everybody. I learned so much about the players that I'm researching, like just little facts. And if you're into that type of trivia type thing and want to know about the players, I've uncovered some pretty cool facts.
You know what you need to do before the last of them die? You need to go out and see how many you need to recreate a signed set.
Oh, stop, please. You really want me to be, do you have a room I can come live with you when I get kicked out of my house? There's no way.
So
what's one of the most interesting little factoids you learned about one of the players?
Well, for example, Doc Ellis, card number 2, he pitched it. He admitted it the next day. He pitched an entire game on LSD. So
a shutout, right?
Yeah,
it's a shutout.
Well. Things like that, and just stuff about players that you thought were not very good, but yet they really were good. That's another thing too. Like these names that are not everyday names, but they're like amazing. Like Red Shondeist. That name would be like, who? He was a stud. He like crushed. He's like a Hall of Famer. Just things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, so you're waiting on one more card from PSA to hopefully complete the master set.
Yes.
What's next?
Wait, hold on. Before we get there, I want to just ask 2 questions next, and then I want to ask, what is the most inexpensive card that you get? Did you ever get like somebody's like, here's a stack of my old ones, and like didn't cost you anything, or was there an actual cost for the lowest cost?
No. You're talking raw or PSA?
Let's say PSA. What's the most expensive card in that collection? And again, it might not be the most valuable, but it's the most highest cost to you. And what was the lowest cost?
Well, I have 3-tiered answer on that. The first one is the lowest cost. I used to get sevens 4 or 5 years ago. I'd get them for $7-8 graded.
Wow.
Okay. But that was not very long. So now they're in like the $15-$20 range. Then the one thing you'll find is there are people that are not very well known, like Tom Satriano, for example. Okay, you've never heard of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
His card is ridiculously hard to find. Like, it took me like 2.5 years looking on eBay to finally see one up. Sid O'Brien is another one. So those were expensive. I had to pay like hundreds of dollars for those, even though they're like commons.
But it's
not out.
It would make sense, right? Because if people are keeping cards, it doesn't make sense, but it does because people are not holding on to those. So the ones that who's gonna carry? I'm trying to think of like a utility player who just bounces from team to team. Like now, it's like they're not coming to mind, and I'm certainly not going to care about keeping their card. I mean, I do tend to hoard all cards now, but most people won't, and you won't protect it the way you would of Vladimir Guerrero or Shohei.
Right, right. And there's another reason is a lot of people didn't send those in because they're common, so there's not too many.
Yes.
Like, for example, like Glenn Beckert, one of my favorite players on the Cubs, second baseman, card number 390. I don't know the set too well. It scares me. There's only 76 sevens of him in existence.
Wow.
And I've gone through the PSA registry, and I've accounted for 9 of them.
Wow.
So including mine. So there's another 67 out there somewhere in the world. So the point is, those are hard to find. And then the highest cards, the most expensive cards in that set are, for a 7, are, of course, Thurman Munson and Roberto Clemente.
Mm-hmm.
Those are going for like about $800 right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, it's not at 7s. Now 8s, forget it. 8s, it jumps up incredibly.
So, Rilbiz, now that you're 1 card away from completing the master set, what's next?
Well, it depends on how long I want to stay married. So if I wanted to end it now, I could start there's a 1971 Topps version OPC, which is the Canadian version with yellow backs. If I wanted to end the marriage, I could probably start that today. But I've decided I love my wife. I'd like to stay married.
How long have you been married?
33 years in a row.
That's a good run. You could
It's
bag it after 33 years. Nobody
I
want
to stay around. So what I'm going to do is I've decided for the short term, at least the next year or so, I'm going to start. What I do is I have a disciplined way of working eBay. Like when I see a card I want, so I've started to upgrade some to 8s, at least the minor cards. So what I'll do is I use vintage card prices, which tells you the last 4 sales or the last 10 sales of a card. So, kind of like Card Ladder, but it's for vintage. So I use that, and I'll know the price of a card. So when I'll bid what I think it's worth one time, and I will leave it. And if I get it, I get it. If I don't get it, it'll be up again in 6 months, I've learned, except for those few weird cards like Satriano and those guys.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm scouting for deals on 8s, and I'm kind of replacing them as I can get a reasonably priced 8. And then
now do you sell the 7?
Yes, and I was going to say I have a spreadsheet, if you know me, and I have a column that has what I paid for this 8, what I paid for the original 7, so I have all the records, and then what I sold the new 7, the 7 for, and then I net that out and I add that to the cost of the original 8. So I just did an exercise where I sold 39 cards because I got some of these 7 so long ago that I actually upgraded 39 cards for a total cost of $7.70.
Wow. That's amazing.
So what I'm going to do is, next year I'm going to try to systematically turn that money over and get to the point where if I get most of the set, like I've almost out of those 760 cards now, I have about 100 of them are 8s. So
wow. And you said there are no 10s in existence?
There are 262 10s.
Oh, okay.
Out of 300,000 cards graded.
Wow.
That's in the first episode, by the way. So I go through all the numbers. But there's only 262 10s total.
Do you own any 10s?
I do not. I do not own any 9s either. So
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of when you're buying on that scale, for that to pay, because the typical 9 is like $1,500, even for a common.
Oh,
wow. It's not cost effective.
So if I'm going to spend that $1,500, I'm going to plow it into something that's going to make the set more valuable. Now, eventually, someday.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense.
That's why I wanted to win the bounty today, so I could have converted all my stars to 8s.
Yeah, think of what you could have done with 50 grand.
And that'd have been great. So, but yeah, so we'll see where it takes me. And I was toying around with the 75 set because that's the colorful one. It's got all the colors on it, the top 75. But it's just I'm not in a position now where I can. I have a little fatigue too. I mean, it's been 10 years of hunting cards. It gets.
Well, and I see Rilbiz is the last. I think the last episode you had was 3 weeks ago. So when's the next one coming out?
I'm hoping to have that out within about a week, and then run it out. I have them all. I have there's 17 going to be 17 total, including the last one. I think I have 12 out, so I have 5 left. So I hope to knock those out in the next month, or 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
It's hard because you mentioned you're getting better and better. So the better you get at it, the more you have to do. So the harder it is to crank it out.
Yeah, I envy what you do because, man, coming up with this content is just brutal. And then I'm thinking, what am I going to do after the 17th episode? I'm going to focus, I think, on well, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, a little sneak preview for everybody. This is a great story. So I found a bunch of wax boxes in my crawl space, right? So I went down there, I pulled them out. They're all 90s basketball cards-ish, football from the early 90s. So junk wax.
Junk wax, yeah.
But there's a bunch of Jordans in there, right? So I opened like 8 boxes. Personally opened them myself. Took those cards, sent the Jordans I thought were 10s into PSA. I sent 30 cards in. I get about 8 of them back. They said they're missized or cut. I'm like, well, then I don't know what's going on because I personally opened them myself in my kitchen. So I didn't cut them. So anyway, it might have been manufactured. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 6 cards that I got, and I'm going to pick 6 different graders. Some of the lower graders like ISA, some of the I shouldn't say lower, some of the less known, less populated graders. And I'm going to send all 6 out to 6 different graders and see what they come back. So I'm going to film that. So I'm going to do stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to start focusing on a little bit more on the NFT side of like the collision or the fractional stuff. I'm going to start doing some block pack stuff because I like to get the word out on that because I don't think people know. I mean, you guys do a great job. Jeff does a great job. But if I can reach more people and tell them about the home team heroes and all that kind of stuff, I'd like to do some shows on that to try to get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every little bit helps.
That's what's next. So
nice. Awesome. Now you said you grew up on the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
But you're a Cubs fan?
No, actually I was a Cubs fan as a kid, and my uncles were all Sox fans and they would argue. So about when I was 13, I just decided I'm rooting for both. I didn't want to fight anymore. So I root for both.
Screw it. You just threw in the white
I'm out. And in Chicago, it betters your chances for a World Series because they don't come too often.
No.
So, I mean, you have to understand, Chicago was in a drought for a long time. The Chicago Sting, if you remember the soccer team.
Yes.
They won in like the 80s or something.
Yeah.
And it was like early 80s. It was like a big deal. I was like, I used to sit up and watch Sting games because we never had a championship. We had nobody won anything.
When's the last time the Chi Sox won?
What was it 5?
2005?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, when you say 5, I don't even remember them winning it in 2005.
Yeah, they did. They beat.
Was Jack McDowell on that team?
I think so. Yeah, that was. You're testing me now. That was so long ago. God.
Does Reinsdorf still own them?
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
Well,
2005. You are correct.
Well, and of course, you had that drama last year with Tony La Russa, and
yeah, that was a thing. But hey, what can I tell you? I mean, sometimes you try to bring back what's you can never go home, or what's the phrase they say?
Yep.
It was a valiant effort, but as much as I like Tony, just doesn't.
What wasn't happening anymore?
No.
But so Rilbiz, I think for folks who are watching this, who know you on Discord, they can click on your profile and there'll be a link to your YouTube channel, your Twitter handle, so they can definitely find the card quest those ways, and they can get to those. Of course, we're gonna also show people the link to get to your YouTube. But Tex, did you have any other final questions before Rilbiz, before we let him go, and have any final words himself?
No, I mean, I think we covered everything. It was great talking to you again, Rilbiz. Great seeing you. And good luck. I hope you get a 9 on that last submitted card.
Thank you. I hope so too. And thanks again for the opportunity. Thank you for the box of cards. Thanks for running all those weekly contests. They're great. Everybody jump in. It's great. you can do the paid or the free. I've done both. I've done them all. I've done some. So it just depends on the week. But you guys do a great job. Love the show. Jen, thank you for having us, even though you're not here. So I'll shout out to Gen Con. But thanks, guys. I appreciate all the boxes and the promotion, and it was great talking to you. I love getting to know you guys.
Right here.
So,
All right. Well,
Steers the mighty ship of state.
well, thank you so much, Rilbiz, for joining us today. And of course, we hope Gen Con will return soon. She's just busy with life, right? Which we
no doubt.
And she'll be back. And then, of course, we want to thank Block Packs, who made it possible so we could gift that promotional box of HTH baseball to Rilbiz. So thank you so much, Rilbiz. We can't wait to see the next final 5 episodes to drop.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care. Thanks, Block Packs. Take care.
You've been listening to BPX Break Room, which is broadcast live each Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern in Twitter Spaces at Radish Digital. That's digital with a J. I've been your host, Discord user Gen Con, and I wanted to thank today's co-host and you, the listener. A special thanks to those in the audience who raised their hand and came up on stage, helping to make BPX the best community in Web3. BPX is a community built for collectors by collectors. That's it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.